Questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC, Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Fan cams, reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.
Right. Good evening, everyone. Eagle Eye Football. Myself, Dan, down to 10, and Rich. How you doing, Rich?
I'm doing good. Interesting this aspect, so I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so I thought it was one that would be quite nice to do. Obviously, without the Palace Tact-Eagles. I thought the semi-finals was a good time to start, really, because I thought the quarter-finals is a bit much. Do you know what I mean? Like, trying to do that many games in one go is quite a lot. But anyways, we're here. Sadly, England are not in the semi-finals of the World Cup, but nevertheless, it's France and Morocco on Wednesday, and then Croatia and Argentina tomorrow. Both 7 o'clock kickoffs. And I think it's very interesting to see the teams that have gotten to the final, actually. Incredibly interesting. Starting off with, let's start off with France versus Morocco, I think. I think that's probably the best one to start with, because most of us, or most people watching, probably would have watched the England game on Saturday. So I think everyone's got a kind of rough idea of what France are all about. I think France are... Well, we're going to see a pattern here, but defensively, they are a very passive side. Defensively, they let teams come onto them, and I think I'm not saying England played badly on Saturday, but I think one of the reasons that I perhaps looked at our performance in a more positive light was because France do allow teams to come onto them a bit more. So that's generally how they tend to defend. They're not ones to go in. And they tend to do it in 2 banks of 4. So they'll have your standard defensive 4 with full backs and the centre backs, and then they'll have their midfield. So normally Antoine Griezmann will drop on the left hand side, and then Kylian Mbappe and Olivier Giroud tend to stay a bit more up. So then they can look for that counter and they can look for that break. Mainly for Kylian Mbappe, because I'm fairly sure that guy could run professionally 100 meters, to be honest. Like, that guy is absolutely rapid. But having said that, I don't know about you, Rich, but I thought England actually managed to keep him relatively quiet on Saturday.
Yeah, you know what, on that standpoint, I think they did relatively keep him quiet. However, I still don't think they dealt with him, because what I think Mbappe did well is, obviously the focus was on him, so he was like double teamed, triple teamed. But what he then did cleverly is that he played one-touch passes, or he might skip past a player to be able to create space another way. And I feel like they didn't have answers to everyone else. They did well stopping Mbappe, not everyone else. It's kind of like they had thrown all their eggs into the Mbappe basket.
Yeah, sorry, Rich, I got a bit nipping just then.
It happens to all of us and stuff. Did you want me to repeat what I was saying?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
I was saying how, like, I felt England, they dealt with Mbappe really well to an extent. Basically, obviously, they closed the space, not allowing him to run in behind, apart from that one time where he did Kyle Walker. But what they struggled with is whenever he'd done things like a 1-touch or 2-touch, because everything was just opening up the pitch for others, even though he may have felt isolated. So I think they put all their eggs in stopping Mbappe, but didn't do a good enough job kind of dealing with. Like, I thought Griezmann had a great game, like, under the radar. Same with Dembele. Dembele had a very good game as well, which was under the radar. And with Giroud, he did nothing for like 70 minutes, and then he just woke up. You know,
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Especially with France's attack. Like they got such a potent attack that, yeah, like you said, like England put all their eggs in one basket on the Mbappe side. But then you have to remember, Ousmane Dembele is also a very, very good football player, and so is Antoine Griezmann. And I think you're right as well. I think where Kylian Mbappe maybe didn't necessarily do anything directly, the fact that he was like coming in all the time, it did allow space for like Hernandez to come in behind, and then ultimately that's where they got their goal from across from the left hand side. That was then headed in by Olivier Giroud. One thing I did think though, I think is a big weakness of France is I don't think they defend their wings very well. And I think there's a reason for this. I think because what I noticed in the previous games, they tend to push their wingers basically play like midfielders or like forwards. So if you do manage to catch France kind of outside of that passive kind of they've settled into their two banks of four phase, I do think that there is a lot of scope for teams to be able to break to the wings. And I think if my memory serves me correctly, I mean by this point I was quite a few pints in deep, but my memory serves me correctly. Both of our penalties came from like our players cutting inside from the wings.
Yeah, so Saka's one was, and I think Mount made a diagonal run from out to in.
Yeah, exactly, and also the penalty which I think was just outside, or the penalty shout that was just outside the box, I think. Yeah, so I think that is something that I think Morocco can certainly exploit. And I think with Morocco as well, like moving on to Morocco, I think again it's very interesting because Morocco defensively are a superb team. The only goal they've conceded in the entire tournament was against Canada, and it was an own goal. So
yeah,
like they've kept clean sheets against Belgium, Spain, Portugal. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like those are
impressive.
Yeah, exactly. Those are three teams with incredible attacks, really. I mean, Spain in the same tournament put 7 past Costa Rica. Do you know what I mean? So, like defensively, they are very good, and the way they kind of defend, what they do is they tend to, so they're kind of basing like a 4. Well, in defense is like a 4-5-1. Because what they do is they play a 4-3-3, but then their kind of wide forwards kind of fall back a little bit. But what I like about Morocco is that they're not a team that will just sit deep in that low block. They're kind of like a mid to low block, I would say. So it's not like they literally park the bus and like that's it, and they've just got unlucky and whatever. Like they actually like defend cleverly. Like they don't allow the space in between. And what I've noticed as well is that it's kind of like when they do it, it's kind of like a triangle, so that the opposing players are kind of like forced out wide. So then, and I think that's a good thing because, well, if you're out wide, you have less space. Like you're playing on the touchline, you have less space, and I think that plays into their hands. And I think when France come to play Morocco, I do think. I mean, this is also me being biased because one, I'm still quite bitter about Saturday, and two, I actually genuinely just want Morocco to win anyway now. So I do think France can fall into that like just constantly being out wide. But then, like we did just say, they do have some incredible wide players anyway. Yeah, I don't know. What did you manage to catch Portugal's the Morocco-Portugal game, Rich?
Yeah. What a history making day. Congratulations, Morocco. Obviously, first African nation to make it to the semi-final. And as you said, like the ability to just keep a clean sheet is mad. You know, the defensive nous that they have, you know. And the funny thing is, they've had injuries throughout this as well. You know, they've had quite a few injuries as well when you think about it, and yet they still no matter who comes in, everyone knows their role, which was incredible. However, they don't sit there for like 90 minutes of the game. They actually break pretty quick. And just going back into your point regarding the fullbacks, Koundé and Theo Hernandez 1v1 defending is terrible.
Yeah, definitely.
So if Morocco is going to actually get any joy, it will actually be getting wide. Ziyech, I don't know who plays on the other side. But then you've got obviously Hakimi, who likes to bomb forward. That'll be interesting actually, because obviously he's going to be playing against Mbappe, and so they're club mates as well. And then what's it? I think it's Uini or something. So he plays in the middle of the park. He's unbelievable. Hold on.
Oh yeah, he's a quality player. Yeah, I know who you mean. Yeah, he's a quality player.
So it's set up like Morocco know they're going to have to play on the break. Because I mean every team pretty much played on the break because you're just worried about the Mbappe threat. I just think for Morocco to be able to go through in this round, they just need to be a bit more clinical. Because against Portugal, they had a few chances towards the end of the game to kill the game off, and they couldn't.
Is that me?
I think that was me. I think it was me this time. Big up Vaz says Di Maria. His Di Maria agenda is crazy. He does not want it.
You know what? I fully back that. Vibes.
Big up Louis. So deep down, France are smoking Morocco. Listen, we said that about Belgium, Portugal, and
Spain. This is it, isn't it? Like,
and even Croatia. We forget.
Well, yeah, exactly. This tournament has just been full of absolutely mad, like proper mad, and every single team that has done something like that, they all play in a similar way. They just sit back, hit on the counter, and in this World Cup, it's worked. So, you know what I mean? I wouldn't bet against Morocco winning, to be honest. And also, I have to be honest. Again, maybe this is me just being an absolute salty guy, but I don't think France were that good on like they're certainly not the same. I don't think they're as good as they were in 2018. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean there's like 5 players missing from
as
well. And when you lose Pogba and Kante in the middle of your park as well, it's quite a big loss.
That is
big up Ozzy. He says Morocco all the way. I'm hoping Morocco do it, man. Honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big up Solo. Hope you're doing good. Me and Solo will be streaming Friday, so look out for that. We co-streaming on Friday. Eagle Eye Football with the Man United agenda, so please look out for that. Big up, Nate. Hope you're doing well.
Yes, Nate.
Nate's been sending smoke for everyone that's sending England abuse, by the way. I love it. It's so funny. Really says, let's go France, as per usual. Let's go Morocco. The nipping was mad. I just saw the circles on the black background, to speak. But we're here, we're back. Hope you're good. Rich, his guest, and the chat. Okay, so big up Rich. Sending this love to everyone. There's loads of comments. Love this. The double EF Army. Yeah, actually, CM, I'm gonna call you afterwards. By the way, I'm always calling you. I feel like I'm honestly, I'm not bothering you. I promise. But I'm gonna call you afterwards. The EOP Army are supporting Argentina.
Oh,
Really's getting some love from Solo. Dan is a member of the EF team. Yeah, he doesn't realize that. France are not playing well, just getting the results. Listen, it's tournament football,
Well,
it's tournament football, so that's what happens. Argentina out, needed 2 coaches and a couple refs to scam their way into the semis. We'll talk about that. Showing love to CM. Free CM, by the way. Free CM. We've got hashtag free CM. Drop the hashtag free CM here. Drop it on Twitter. Hey, his account got locked off for no reason.
What? Seriously?
Literally, he quote tweeted Roland's watch along tweet, and they said that he was like promoting the sell-off sign. Like what?
What? That is dead. That is dead.
So yeah, his account's been locked at the moment, boy. So hashtag free CM, boy.
Free CM. Free CM.
Say no more. Sending his blessings. Hashtag free CM. Pray for Demiri's downfall.
I'll back that.
Yeah.
Definitely back that.
So you may continue then.
So I can't. What were we saying? I can't remember now.
I think we're discussing Morocco at the time.
Yeah, I mean, also another thing I think with Morocco too is that something that you can't really quantify in, and this is why I love knockout football. It's something you can't really quantify in stats or like tactics or anything like that. Hard by Elon.
No.
Needed to get the blue tick, man.
That one bangs, man. Santi. That's quality counterfeit merch.
Love it.
Sorry.
I think Morocco have something at the moment that you can't really quantify in stats or tactics as well. Is the fact that they are the first African team to get to the semis. They've battled their whole way to get here. Like they've got momentum on them. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like France have been doing okay, getting results and so on. Whereas Morocco have like that belief. It kind of reminds me a little bit of when Greece won the 2004 Euros. When they started playing well and they got that momentum behind them, they had that solid base, and then eventually they ended up winning. I think that's something that Morocco have that I don't think a couple of the other teams really have in the semi-finals. But yeah, I think also as well, another thing I won't say, I forgot to say earlier, I want to shout out their goalkeeper. I think their goalkeeper is quality. Because Morocco statistically have conceded fewer goals than they should have, basically. And I do think some of that is down to the goalkeeper, because their goalkeepers had, again, statistically, one of the best shot-stopping stats going, basically.
Oh, Bono.
Yeah, that's it, Bono.
Oh, he's been incredible, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's been very good. He's conceded less goals than the amount of jokes I've made about him being in UT. But
fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, who? All right, if you had to give a score prediction for that game, what would you give?
1-0 Morocco.
Or you know what, I would back that, because I feel like if Morocco are going to win, I can't see them getting 2 goals against France.
No chance.
So I'd actually be inclined to agree. I'll go 1-0 too on that one.
It's going to make it
Right.
an interesting game, though.
Well, yeah, no, definitely, because I think it's going to be, because I mean Morocco are used to having like none of the ball. Like I think their average possession in the tournament so far is like 33% or something crazy like that. Like is literally like nothing.
Yeah.
So I think if France have the ball a lot tomorrow, I don't think they'll be too worried, because they're already used to it in the tournament anyway.
No,
And they've already shown that they can beat like Spain, Portugal, and Belgium. So
yeah. Right, let me just do a few more comments before I allow you to move on with the other two. The other 2 teams are going to be next. Right. That game I'm looking forward to, by the way.
yeah.
Really saying CM said he saw that number 11 and the other number 11 on the wing in the pen. Got a free CM, man. CM and Rich have both met someone from AFTV. Shame CM met him at HMP, but we meet. Nah, them men are on a different type of wing. Let's just say the treatment ain't nice.
That's rough, man.
Please forgive me. Can't be mad at Rich for that. Any other team would soon been. Listen, let's go Morocco. We're moving from Morocco to say football from someone. Big up Rich Sports. Hope you did well. Please subscribe to Rich Sports. Check out does quizzes, Man United fan as well. Loads of content, and to be fair, he does a lot of work with some of the regulars on here as well. So please make sure you show him some love. Vibes are survived. No, listen, vibes violated bad. How does that say football? France struggle without ref help. Yeah, realist. Just saying.
I prefer not to speak. all I'm saying, their poster boy plays for a team that's owned by the Qatari government.
And other things which we won't discuss on this platform.
Yeah, I prefer not to speak.
There you are. Hoping for Croatia. That will be amazing for the fact that there will be a new name on the trophy. Funny enough, someone who was it? I was listening to Talksport. Don't ask me why, but I was just listening to the radio back home. Well, actually, you can ask me why. I was actually listening because I wanted to hear the England tears and stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't remember who said it, but he was on with Darren Bent and he said, I don't want Morocco in the final. I don't want him to win it. And he goes, it's like, it will be terrible to see a small nation win a big trophy.
What?
I'm thinking,
hang on a minute.
Are you tapped?
Honestly, that radio station, I swear to God, they get people just to come in with the most ridiculous statements, like so they can get some nice clicks or something.
Clicks, yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Like, how can someone say that? Like, in the Euros alone, you've had like Czechoslovakia, which doesn't even exist anymore, Denmark and Greece winning it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a good thing, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
No, 100%.
Like, if France win it again, to me, that's just boring. Do you know what I mean? It's just boring.
Yeah. Rich won't come outside and 1v1 me. I realist, behave yourself. It would be nice to see something different win. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
Yeah.
Leave my home in France alone. You're not from France. And you have to admit France weren't great v England. They weren't. And like I said, I'm repping Ghana, so I don't care really about England like that. This is on Southgate. When England were on top, especially after they got the equaliser, he had to make an attacking change. Take off Henderson and put on another midfielder or put on a forward-thinking player and go for the kill because France were on the ropes. They were on the ropes and he didn't.
Yeah, I think it's a shame Maddison didn't get a run out, to be honest. I think.
Yeah. Or even when you look at the fact that there was a lot of crosses coming in, get Trippier on.
Well,
also,
yeah, exactly.
The amount of crosses that France was struggling with, you know. Didn't Yugoslavia go 4-1? They're not a country anymore either. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think they won it too. I think they won it too at some point.
Yes, I am from France. You're all haters, maybe like Europeans here. You're from Trinidad. Just listen. They should make the next World Cup because Mexico, USA, Canada, they're all automatically qualifiers. So just.
Oh yeah, that's a point. I didn't think. Oh yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Did you join your sorrows at the Chepe? Oh yeah, Barbs weren't happy England lost, by the way. But then at the same time, he's got this Southgate agenda. So I was kind of like, where you at with this? Then let's move on to the next two teams.
Right. Okay. So we have Argentina versus Croatia. Now this is a tricky one for me because I was semi-supporting Brazil because of Duda through the tournament. They got knocked out by Croatia, but then it's also not right that I would want Argentina to win. Wow.
Tell him this fake French.
Wow.
Who actually doesn't like Mbappe, by the way. Said he's not a good player.
No?
Sorry, Dan, go
on. Oh, yeah. Yes, all right. Argentina, Croatia. I'm not going to lie. I think Argentina are kind of similar to France in that I don't think they've played very well either. I don't think they were that good against I don't think they were that good against the Netherlands, to be honest. And I think they've scraped a lot of things. I think they've scraped a lot of results as well. And I could see Croatia beating them and also Argentina seem to have changed their play style like a lot through the tournament. Originally, like against Saudi Arabia, they were very much like kind of like a Villarreal, where under Emery they would just always play very, very vertical balls all the time. Like just wherever they have the ball, just kick it direct, whether it's long or short, to feet, high, whatever, just kick it long. In the group stage, that seemed to be what they did. But then come to the Australia game, they kind of just play a bit more possession football. And then in the what was the last game? The Netherlands game, they then moved that. So then they played a 5 at the back rather than a 4 at the back, because before they were playing a 4-3-3, and then they moved to like a 5 at the back. So they basically dropped one of their attackers for a defender, which, I mean, I guess that might be a nice tactical thing for like the Netherlands, but against the Netherlands, because the Netherlands do have some very good attackers. So that's the only thing I can think of. But I do think they've been quite inconsistent. But having said that, statistically, defensively, they've defensively, they've got the best defensive record, I guess, if you in the tournament, in terms of like the chances that they do concede. Their XG against is pretty formidable. Then you have Croatia on the other side, who play very similarly to Morocco, actually, where they will sit back a little bit into like a mid block and then they'll counter. But Croatia counter really, really well. And the way Croatia counter as well, I think, could be Argentina's undoing, because it's not like they'll just kick it long and just kind of hope for it. They play a lot of short passes, which kind of, they work off each other. And having seen the goals that the Netherlands scored against them, I think that's the kind of goal that I think Croatia could quite conceivably score against them.
Big up, Nate.
What are you saying?
All good. Just educating realists that Wii is not a Nintendo console.
Well, put it this way: if realist is French, then I'm from Syria. Because big man, we need to see your papers if you're French, big man. Because they're going to check you at Gare du Nord. You know what I'm saying? Now, listen. Regarding France, England, it's classic England. Too much hype, too much pressure, and France did exactly what you'd expect any good team to do and punish them. But these semi-finals now, I won't lie, people are sleeping on Croatia. Shout out Sean, because Sean's moving a bit too cocky with Argentina in the group chat, which I was laughing at. Morocco, yeah, I can't lie. I don't really see them doing it, but you never know. This World Cup is the World Cup of shocks. But I don't know. But I seen your shout, Rich, about defending about people coming for England. I'm actually laughing at people's reactions to people taking the piss out of England, because people were saying, "Oh, but I bet these people support English teams." But would you not see England if it was Germany? Like, you don't want your rivals winning. I don't see many Manchester United fans wanting Liverpool to win the Champions League.
Unless you're nipping.
Yeah, but
I was going to say, Nate, you sound like Dr. Robotnik right now.
No, but that Nippon supports a load of nations, which is quite funny.
Well, nipping is from the United Nations, bruv. That's why that is. Nah, look. Because somebody, a Palace fan, was like, "Oh, but I bet they support English teams, and they don't have to support England if they support English teams." I don't understand the logic.
There isn't any for that.
It's
Right.
mad.
It is crazy. You know what? I don't know how to call this game. I really don't know how to call this Croatia-Argentina game.
Well, I tell you what, I can't take credit for this because I did steal it off someone, but I want to see if you agree. I think Croatia are the new Germany, right? In the sense of they don't necessarily play that well, but they know how to get a goal from nothing, from like when they're really like backs against the walls and they need a goal, they go and get a goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? They obviously do a better job defensively on Messi. And I've not been impressed with Argentina's defending.
No, I haven't either.
They normally start with Otamendi and Romero, don't they? Like how Martinez ain't started is beyond me.
Well, that's how because they the manager started all three of them on Saturday, all three of them. So that's what I mean. I don't know if that's something that he'll do again, or if it was just because he was playing and they were playing the Netherlands, who are quite good at attacking. Yeah. So, but I agree. I was really, really shocked to see that per game they had the best. They conceded the fewest chances of any team, which I was quite surprised about. But I do think that is slightly distorted by their group stage. The teams they played in the group stage. Who they play in the group stage? Saudi Arabia, who I think scored both of their goals with an XG of 0.01 or something. And then they also had Poland, who how they got out of that group, I have no idea, because they played some serious like Sean Dyche Brexit football. Like it was terrible.
This guy's answering the same question. How did they get out? Like how Mexico didn't get out that group is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Mexico also didn't play very well. I think Argentina got quite lucky in that.
Yeah. Saudi
Arabia was a surprise package and still didn't get through. Somehow Poland got through. I don't know how Poland got through, to be honest. And I think that kind of contributed to that, because the thing, and also I think with Argentina as well, because they played those teams, and then like no disrespect to Australia, but they're also not the strongest team you could face in a round of 16 at the World Cup, and I think that combined with how they play, because they do keep the ball a lot, so I do wonder if they do play a team, because Croatia don't have the ball less than, I think on average Croatia have the ball about 53% of the time, so it's not like, so they normally have the ball more than the other team. So I think if Argentina are to play a team that do have the ball more, then I think that maybe they'll become a bit unstuck. And I think as well, especially with Argentina, is that I think they're they play a very high line when they're kind of in the midfield. And I think if you're able just to ping that kind of long ball over to the wing, I know this isn't really Croatia's game. Like Croatia, again, surprisingly, they don't really do long balls. They only really do short passes. So if they can maybe thread a ball through that and then run onto it, then I think that can cause Argentina problems too. I mean, I think from a Croatia point of view, the biggest problem for them is going to be how do you deal with Lionel Messi?
No, absolutely. What's your thoughts on this comment though, from Sen? And if I've pronounced that incorrectly, I do apologize.
I mean, I agree with it, but then I think the thing is with Poland, I think because of the type, I think it was a type of football they play that does cause them problems. because like we were saying earlier, I think France don't defend the wings very well. And I think if you catch them at the right time, you can really expose them on the wings. And then so if you cross it in or do whatever, then you can create a chance. I think the thing is with Argentina is that because Argentina have the ball so much of the time, I think it's more of a case of it's less noticeable. If that makes sense. Because for Argentina keep the ball about something really stupid, like about 67% of the time or something crazy like that. So if you think they, on average, their opponents on average have the ball 33% of the time, their defense isn't getting tested by the sheer fact of like they just don't have the ball. I think if their defense was good enough, I don't think their manager would have gone to a 5 at the back against the Netherlands. Personally, that's what I think.
That's a good point. That's a good
point. That's what I think. And yeah, I mean, I don't think in terms of like names on paper, I don't think Croatia have the same firepower as the Netherlands do, because the Netherlands had like, you know, Gakpo, Depay, Bergwijn, etc. Croatia don't really have that. Their strength is in the middle of the park. So I think it'll be a bit silly I think Argentina will just do what they did in the group stage and just try to keep the ball more. And by virtue of that, just not be tested as much. That's how I think that they'll try to combat that. And I don't think they'll go to a 5 at the back. I think they'll have the 4 at the back because they know that they're going to try to do that, I think.
So when you say that they're going to have more of the ball, do you think then they're going to look to attack the wide areas of Croatia? Because in my head, I'm thinking that Brozovic, Kovacic and Modric are going to dominate the game, position-wise.
Yes, and I think as well that, like, when I looked at the stats earlier, I think Croatia have conceded this on average conceded the second most crosses in the tournament. I think when you boil it down to but I think that's because they want it to. And again, they keep the ball actually more than an opponent. So I think it's a tactic that they want to happen. I think they feel comfortable heading the ball away. Do you know what I mean? I think they feel comfortable heading the ball away, and I think Livakovic is a very good goalkeeper. So I think it's part of their tactic to kind of allow, not obviously if they can not stop the cross, then great. But if they let the cross in, I think they would rather let the cross in rather than letting players come through the middle, which is where like Lionel Messi operates. So I think that's kind of that's what I think with that. I think they'll force them wide on purpose.
Senna says Acuna is suspended for this game, which is a big issue. Tagliafico is not very good. Wasn't he touted to be really good? He played very well for Ajax a couple of seasons back. I'm sure he was very close to moving to the Prem as well.
Tagliafico.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, to be honest. But yeah, I'm trying to think, because Acuna played left wing back the other day, didn't he? I think. Which
that's interesting. Vibes is praying for Lisandro Martinez's own goal. Really saying he's stinking up at club level now. Oh, raw. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, Tagliafico was at one point linked with a host of Premier League clubs. I think mainly Man United, but that was because they had this Ajax fetish. Any player playing for Ajax, United wanted. It's like Liverpool and Southampton. The second any good player comes out of Southampton, Liverpool just wanted him. But
I thought Man United only had a Crystal Palace fetish.
No, see, they just love taking our academy products and ruining them, and then blaming us for selling them bad players, even though they were good when they played for us.
Man. But you know what? Just on your point regarding going wide, then I guess this is going to actually be, and Vibes is going to hate this, but this is going to be a game for Di Maria.
Yeah.
Because if there's one thing he can do is he can put in a decent cross.
Yeah. Well, that's it, isn't it?
Before Vibes goes nuclear, I'm ducking out of it because I don't want Vibes exploding. So I'll see you man later.
All right, big update. Whatever it takes to get him out of the World Cup. Dude, it's like a report.
Love it.
So do you lot want everyone to what? Listen, 5 to 10 million, he can come back home.
Mate, honestly, sell him for 50 mil. Do up the academy to Cat 1. Finish second in the PL2. Get him back for free. Don't bother me.
100%. Di Maria has had a quiet World Cup so far. He needs to have a big game tomorrow. And you know what? He had a quite quiet Copa America, if I recall, as well. And then scored the winning goal in the final. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Oh man. Somehow Vibes will hide me even though I created the thing. But yeah, let me think. I don't know score prediction. I'm going 2-1. I just don't know who to.
You know what? I'm gonna go for the classic Croatia score. I'm gonna say 1-1. They go through on penalties.
Oh, you know what? To be fair, if it does go pit, that's where they are lethal.
Mate, honestly, that Livakovic. So statistically, he's been the best goalkeeper out of the tournament, like by far.
He's been brilliant.
And especially at penalties as well. I think was it the Japan one where he saved, I think, 3 spot kicks or something like that. I was like, I mean, they weren't great spot kicks, but I mean, it's still impressive. I think one day he'll play for a top team, that Livakovic. He's very, very, and he's only 22 as well, which obviously for a goalkeeper, that's young.
Yeah.
But that's the Dinamo Zagreb conveyor belt. That's where Modric came from. Well, pretty much most Croatian players came through there.
Yeah.
Which is mad.
Picture this then. Croatia-Morocco final. Yeah. It goes to penalties. Which keeper wins it for them?
Because saying that Bono, he didn't he say 3 penalties against Spain or something like that?
Yeah, he say 3 against Spain. Yeah.
Is Livakovic 28? Oh, is he? Oh, I take that back then. I could swear he was 22. I must be getting confused with someone else then. My bad. What was I saying? I think Croatia. You know. Yeah, it's true. Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true. Because he was getting right up to them the other day, wasn't he? Like sticking his tongue in their face.
Yeah, I think it was all because was it Van Gaal had made comments saying that I think it was the penalties we win or something like that.
Oh yeah, something like that. I think that's a classic Van Gaal just not rethinking. Because I think the thing is if you always slag off the other team, I always think they just end up doing better. Always. I've never seen that. I've never seen that go well ever.
100%.
I don't know. I think Croatia. I think in terms of the penalty takers, I think Croatia are more into it. I think.
So, are you going for a Croatia-Morocco final?
Yeah, absolutely. I think. Well, I've got to back Croatia because I got them in my family sweepstakes. So if they get to the final, I'll win 20 quid. And like I said, I'm not bitter at all. But I want Morocco in that final. Yeah,
I want Morocco to make the final too. However, I think it's going to be a France-Croatia rematch.
Yeah, I've got that feeling too. I think France are one just a very you can't look past their talent in that team, and I think Croatia are very good at just busting out results.
Just gonna
And
get
I
results,
just
yeah.
and I don't think Argentina have played very well this tournament either. I think they had a pretty poor group. They then played Australia in the round of 16. I thought they were relatively not lucky, but like I think the Netherlands game could have very easily been a Netherlands win.
Just quickly
Yeah.
on Netherlands, that free kick in the 90th minute.
Mate,
Oh
balls of steel to do that. Because could you imagine that doesn't come off and everyone's like, "Why did you do that?" That's like that would be like. Do you remember Ademola Lookman's Panenka penalty in the last minute for that? It would be exactly like that. If it goes in, like fair play, balls of steel. But if it goes wrong,
yep, you're a pinnock, 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I agree. I agree. It will be boring. But I just that's what I would prefer a France-Argentina final. I would prefer but my heart would love Morocco to be there. I would love for Morocco, an African nation, to be in the final. But if we're going to be talking about what will be a proper loggerhead final, France v Argentina, you've got Mbappe and Messi who both play for PSG. Mbappe's been moving like he's the CEO of the club. Messi's thinking, "Hey, big man, I've been here like how long?" You know, like the permutations of that game, crazy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
I think, I don't really have anything else to say about the teams anymore. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Thank you, Rich, for being here with me to do this.
No problem. I'll just let everyone know of a few things coming up. So tomorrow, I should be available actually tomorrow. Tomorrow evening, obviously, Argentina versus Croatia watch along. So it should be co-streamed on Pros Only Sports as well as here on Eagle Eye Football. Same as Wednesday, I'm definitely not available. But I'm sure the watch along between France and Morocco will be done on Pros Only Sports. And you should have the likes of CM Vibes, Realist, Brush most likely, and all that involved in that. And we are literally 2 weeks away from the Boxing Day fixtures and stuff. So obviously next week we'll be back bringing you Palace content with a Palace preview, probably next week Thursday or something like that. And yeah, the World Cup's nearly over as well. It's crazy. You know, so yeah, please listen. First things first, Dan, you've got to promote where you have your channel as well. Like he does great analytical. You know, one day I might need to get a snippet of it and show it so people can see what you do and stuff. Oh, Dr. Me, you ain't been nipping, have you?
Yeah, I think my I keep getting like every now and again it goes really robotic. Like when Nate was on earlier, like all of my sounds was just going like was going a bit robotic. So I think I might be getting a bit nipping here.
Oh boy! And I was just saying, you know, clip like maybe like a 20-second segment of something that you've done, like one of your streams, and then in the future, whenever you're on, we'll keep it on this bank so we can always play and just so people see what the kind of work you do on your channel as well.
Nice one.
You know.
Yeah, nice one. Thank you.
So yeah, Dan, let them know where they can find you.
So you can find me on Twitter at Down to 10, on YouTube as well, which is also Down to 10. I look at like tactics and analysis with a bit of stats in it as well. I'm thinking about branching into like stats that aren't necessarily involved with the actual match itself. What exactly that is, I'm not sure yet, but it would be like some like historical facts. I'm thinking about doing it, but at the moment I'm sticking with the analysis. I do currently have the curse of the commentator, because every single time I do a video either about a team doing well, they then lose the next game, or a team doing bad, they then win the next game.
Do one on Palace being bad against Fulham. Please, we need 3 points.
you know what? You know what? I actually did a video after we lost 3-0 to Everton. I did a video about what we need to do with our midfield, and then we won the next 3 games. Make that make sense.
Find a way of making us beat Fulham, please, because we need 3 points.
Absolutely. Are you going to go to that, Rich?
Yeah, I'm there. Boxing Day, yeah.
Cool, nice one. I might be there, but I might have family things, but I'm not sure yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally, Dan Judge. Yeah, absolutely.
Do one and Arsenal doing well.
You know what? I actually, I have been thinking about it, so I might have to.
down to Judge.
Yeah. The judge is real. The judge is real.
Right, it's proper. Listen, if you ever get the Roland George, it's peak. It is peak. Anyway, guys, big up to all the commenters flow over. Right, let me just read that out real quick. See, I mentioned Roland's name, and look how the thing's moving slow. There we go. Down to 10 spells in the cauldron. Guys, drop a like, please. Obviously, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Share the channel. We keep working. We keep working. We'll be back with Palace content soon. So up until then, peace.
Eagles.
Questions to ask throughout a campaign with the confidence rising. I told JC, Nate and Rich that good times are coming, no need for deep diving. Van Cam's reactions, watch along to the pride of London thriving. The Eagles of South stay flying. Keep your eyes on us, we ain't hiding.